every classroom, every school, every state, every country. Like, I just feel like there's so many rich stories to be told. And if you're not telling it from your classroom, then who is?
I'm Dr. Jill Johnson. I've spent my entire career in education. I started in the classroom, then trained teachers, and most recently served as a high school administrator. Now I help highlight the stories, struggles, and successes in educating the next generation of content creators. Welcome to CGTV.
Well, Dr. Jill, welcome back to the Content Generation. I'm excited you picked a topic today to talk about that I think you're uniquely equipped to talk about, having been an educator in a classroom for many years, having taught teachers, and then an administration role. When we talk about social media, so often we tell people to stay away from it. And specifically today, we're talking about educators, those teachers who are using social media on behalf of the school and in participation of the school. You've had some great experience in this area. What would be the advice you have for bringing teachers into that scenario of social media?
Yeah, I think it's funny. I think it was 2008 that I got on Twitter originally, and maybe Facebook shortly after that. But I remember talking to colleagues and not really having any understanding of hashtags or how does this work, or then people would use funny long hashtags and why are they doing this, and so learning about that and then really engaging in the power of it and seeing how that could work firsthand. So we see that, and I think administrators really need to embrace that because it is a great professional development tool, a great connector, really breaks down those schoolhouse walls for staff and students. But then we also have great fears of what people are putting out there and what our staff members are putting out there. So I think first of all, it's really important to have a policy in place of what your district believes in. But then I also think you need to make sure you go over that with your staff. You need to talk to them specifically about what is their role on social media and what's their role as a employee of the district. And so we do have to be really careful. I know I was always very cognizant of that as an administrator, even on my personal account. Even now I use a specific filter for myself, whether it's posting, tweeting, retweeting, sharing, liking, whatever I'm doing. I'm thinking about how does that reflect back on my personal brand. And so I think when people understand that, then they can start to understand better how it reflects on their school or employer brand as well.
Yeah, well, I think we've seen a rise. The hashtags for TikTok education are tremendous. The amount of educators we're seeing out on social media is phenomenal. But one of the other things that we don't often talk about is how do we help collectively share those. So I always talk about this. We're building personal trust over here as an educator, with maybe parents or part of the community. But then we also have the school and the district that's joining that together. How do you join those two sort of marketing entities, the person as well as the school and the district?
Well, I think people want to tell their stories, and I think that's why social media is a thing, and it's a thing that's not going away because people want to share and they want to engage in some type of conversation or reaction. And so when we give our teachers the opportunity to share on behalf of their classroom, their activity that they sponsor, the students in their classroom, I think that's when the power really comes, because now they're sharing their story on behalf of the school. And when you have a management tool like Class Intercom to be able to do that, you can collaborate, you can share, you can make sure everyone's story is getting told. And I know I say that over and over again, but I think it's so true. Every classroom, every school, every state, every country, I just feel like there's so many rich stories to be told. And if you're not telling it from your classroom, then who is? And so we just need to make sure that we continue to empower those staff members to tell those stories.
Well, I think, for so many, these teachers have become influencers, right? Whether it's a large influencer following or a small influencer following, they are influential online. And I think, as communications professionals too, we have this opportunity to join those voices when we create campaigns and marketing aspects for the school or the district. We can join those. So what tips would you have for administrators and communications professionals for helping bring those voices together?
Yeah, I think first of all you need to be on social media, and if that scares you, then you need to have a platform that allows you to access it without being personally involved. Now, Class Intercom does that. It allows you to be there. But then you need to know what's being said out there. You need to know what your students are participating in, and then become a part of the story. So I think as an administrator, it's important to open these doors up to your staff. I don't think you have to require every single person to do it, but you want to get your lead teachers out there in front, the ones who are already telling a story and influencing, and give them a wider audience and let others into that. And I think they can be your role models. For maybe those people who are a little bit more slower to adapt to joining in on the social media storytelling.
Well, Dr. Jill, always wonderful to be with you, but also to hear really some great tips and guidance for helping level up teachers in the area of social media. Like you said, it's not going away. We may as well have great professionals.